Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new issue of Warhammer 40k Imperium magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course, drop a comment down below. I love hearing back from you guys, and it goes an absolute massive way to help the channel too. Now, this week we're on issue 9 of Imperium magazine, and we have Necron Warriors. So, Necron Warriors and Scarab, so this is of course split across 2 issues. So over 2 issues, 9 and 10, we will get 13 minis. This one includes 2 sets of Scarabs, and it also includes 4 Necron Warriors. So it's enough to kind of get you going and get you a little bit ready to kind of build up and paint up and get some stuff going. And you'll also have some extra weapons left over and heads as well. Keep them ready because you probably will need them as well. So really good stuff. But yeah, looking forward to going with them. The next issue will include the other models as well to make up the 13, so be on the lookout for that. In the first page of issue, of course, we're greeted by the warrior phalanx. So, the Silent Legions. Necron Warriors form the core of the Necron Legions. They go to war in phalanxes standing shoulder to shoulder, and they lumber forwards and target their unfortunate foes with steady fire from Gauss weapons. Necron Warriors fight in groups called phalanxes. Each phalanx is formed of 10 Necron Warriors. A phalanx fights in tight formation, advancing slowly but relentlessly while driving back their opponents with volleys of Gauss fire. Most Necron dynasties can field hundreds of phalanxes of soulless Necron Warriors. This combination of superior firepower and overwhelming numbers usually results in quick defeat of a dynasty's foes. So, depending on how you're setting out your Necron army, you will be able to have multiple phalanxes of Necron Warriors if you wish to, really. Depending on how big of a battle you really want to go for and what the point score is for the battle that you're doing. So, with these guys as well, they have 2 weapons that they can carry. So they can carry the Gauss Flayer or the Gauss Reaper. Gauss Reaper is a double-barreled weapon that can be fired at shorter range, but it can be fired quickly on the move. Or there's the Gauss Flayer, which has a bit longer range, but tends to be a little tiny bit weaker. So kind of picking the right one is a little bit of a trick sometimes, but it adds a bit more kind of flavour to the game, essentially. You got your battle record, so you are going to be choosing the phalanx designation, the Legion Commander as well, which of course each phalanx is a property of a Necron Noble. In that box you'll be writing down the name of the Necron Commander for that phalanx. You can create your own phalanx glyph if you wanted to as well, which is pretty cool. And also you'll be choosing their battle damage and the gift of the Aeons as well from those charts. And you'll be designating them with a phalanx number, which is 1 to 5. And also a cohort as well, which is between 1 or 2. Entirely up to you, but really cool stuff. Then we also have a page on the Canaptic Scarabs, which are the Scarabs that we get with the minis, really. So, these ravenous Canaptech constructs seek only to atomize living material and recycle it to the benefit of the Necron race. So they have command protocols, which is simply, they are kind of a simply automaton, is essentially, but they are following orders from the Necron nobles or cryptex. And when issued with a command protocol, they follow the order relentlessly until a new order is issued or the source of the command is destroyed. They have their auto routines as well, so without nearby noble or cryptech to guide them, the Scarabs appear to revert to their most basic programming, which is devouring all organic material. They can replicate, so they are self-replicating as well, so they're not actually constructed really. They also have anti-grav propulsion, good old flensing claws and mandibles as well, which is to use to strip flesh and armour from bone. And they also have a carrier wave receptor as well, which is a little bit different, which is capture and inspection of intact scarabs. Has been proven impossible because they appear to respond to instructions from both cryptex and larger canaptech creatures. This suggests some form of command receptor itself. And then there are all the bits and pieces as well to them. So you can name them, you can get their designation, their enhancements, stasis crypt protocols as well, and their battle protocols. So depending on whether they're kind of in conflict or out of conflict with those ones, which is pretty cool. And then also, yeah, really good stuff. This issue contains a lot more lore than the last one did. So we have the Ultramarines. And this is all about courage and honour. So this is about the chapter of the Ultramarines itself. Though their exploits upon the field of battle are the stuff of legend, the Ultramarines are more than mere soldiers. Each is well versed in tactics, statecraft and diplomacy as they are with blade and bolter. So, with the Ultramarines they do also have the Victrix Guard, which exemplify the Ultramarines' training in the arts of statecraft and warfare, handpicked by Reboot Guilliman. They serve as his personal honour guard, as well as acting as diplomatic envoys to his allies. And I'm not going to lie, that is one of the coolest looking models. I like the mask. The helmet looks really, really cool. If we're getting them in this magazine, then yeah, it'll be quite interesting to see how I'm going to do Sons of Medusa with that shield. But really, really good. Really, really nice models they are. And pretty cool. So this is giving you a lot more information about the Ultramarines, which is of course the paint scheme that this magazine is kind of walking you through and kind of teaching you as well. So really good stuff. You also get some of the artwork across the top as well, of course, and of course a bit of breakdown of some of the squads as well, some of the personnel. So whether you're seeing Brother Callistus, Alcius Dolor, Dothrangarus, or Amand Titus, they are of course battle brothers. They are from different titles, they have different years served, whether it is 120 years, 97 years, 77 years, or even 40 years. They have all served for a long period of time, and they are really, really cool. And it's always nice to see more and more and get some lore finally for the actual kind of universe of the 41st millennium, which is really, really cool stuff. We also have a page giving us information about the Age of Witches, which are warp powers. So, the opening of the Great Rift had many terrible effects upon the galaxy. Some were immediately obvious and utterly catastrophic. Others took longer to become apparent, only revealing themselves as the corrupting power of the warped bled out across the galaxy. So, as the warp powers kind of unleashed, it tore the Imperium in two. Inquisitors of Ordo Hereticus found themselves pressed as never before, for their duty is to combat humans who begin to manifest dangerous psychic powers. On many worlds, local authorities logged instance after instance of psychic mutation. As news of these disturbances filtered back to Terra, the Imperium came to acknowledge a terrible truth. Humanity's psychic evolution had gathered pace. So, psychers kind of are your kind of magicians and your magical creatures and stuff like that as well. Some of them are kind of not really trusted and not really wanted by the Imperium of man, so they fall to worship for powers of chaos occasionally as well, which is a shame because psychic abilities could be pretty cool. We have some more information about the Psychers as well. So there are other Psychers as well. So there are the Sanctioned Psychers. So they are trained by the Imperium to wield the warp without a danger to others. Few humans possess strength of will to complete the training required. As part of the training, these Psychers are often soul-bound to the Emperor, hardening their minds and souls against demonic possession. There are then also alien Psychers, which are present in many of the galaxy's races. Eldari Psychers are known for their ability to predict and manipulate the future. Orc Weird Boys, meanwhile, manifest unpredictable powers, and the Tyrannid hive minds also utilise the warp, using it to communicate and navigate across the galactic void. And then there are, of course, the Chaos Psychers, which are often referred to as sorcerers, who have thrown their lot in with the Dark Gods. Some are lured by the promise of power or wealth, while others seek the prospect of vengeance or immortality. Regardless of the reason for their fall, Chaos Psychers sow corruption, and tragedy wherever they step. Then we have also more of a kind of a story, which is the Soulless Cohorts, which is kind of giving you a bit more of a backstory and a bit more of one of the kind of lore and history between Space Marines and the Necrons, which is pretty cool to read through. Have a good read of it, because it does kind of give you a bit more information. It gives you a little bit of story as well, which is always really, really good to read a bit of fiction. And then we get a how to build guide. Now, there is variant assembly, so you will, as I say, we've got one sprue, we'll get the second sprue soon. So you will need the sprues received in issue 9 and 10 to follow the guide fully. You'll be clipping them, you will be gluing them. No, you won't be gluing them, they're just push fit, which is actually pretty handy. But it is going to be fiddly as well, so make sure you're taking care with them. And then you've got your building guide as well for your scarabs, and then all your Necron Warriors as well. So depending on how you're going to build them, you can have a lot of fun with these guys. Just entirely up to you how you want to do it and which ones you're going to build with what weapons. Really, really good stuff though, but definitely worth paying attention to. Then we have the playthrough of Duel in the Depths. So this one is literally going up with a Primaris Lieutenant, the Captain, going up against Royal Warden and the Overlord, and pretty cool one, pretty decent. It's going to be quite fun, and enjoy yourself on the small battle map. But it's a nice little confined game that you can play, which is good fun. Then we also have a pull-out section. So this is all about Space Marines. This is about the character's organisational and stuff like that. So you have your brothers in arms, and you have the command structure as well for the chapter. So you'll have a chapter command. So which at the top of the chapter's command structure is the chapter master. Only the most powerful and respected warriors and leaders of the chapter can hope to rise to such a position. The chapter master is aided in his duties by 10 captains, each of whom commands one of the chapter's 10 companies. Should he take to the battlefield, the chapter master is accompanied by an elite honor guard. They also have depending on which your chapter is and everything like that, you'll have your librarians, your apothecarians, and your armourers as well. And then you'll have your companies and your battle companies that go through everything as well. So your first company is generally the most elite fighting force, comprised of the most experienced and battle-hardened veterans. The first company's warriors are often split up and attached to other strike forces rather than fighting as one. And then you'll have your reserves, your close support reserves, fire support reserves, everything like that as well, and scouts, which is pretty cool. But it's really nice to see some command structure and how they kind of break down. Then on the other side of it, well, of course, we have the Ultramarine Strike Force, for instance. So, which includes good old Reboot Gilliman, your fire support, which is your aggressors, the command itself, which is with a Primarch assumed by his duel with Mortarion, Chapter Master Marnius Calgar, when I can learn to speak, commands the troops ably assisted by Chief Librarian Tigurius and his Victrix Honor Guard, and a Chaplain of the Reclusism, so which are just along there, so which are your pretty cool guys up there. You'll have your battle line, your veterans, your close support, and your armory as well, which includes your good old heavy weapons, so tanks, flying vehicles, motorbikes will be included in that as well. So really, really good stuff. Jam-packed with kind of history, lore, bit more information and background into kind of your Space Marines and your Necrons as well. So really, really good stuff to read. And then, so next week, issue 10, the rest of the Necrons and Scarabs. You'll have your build and painting guide as well, finishing all of that off. New playthrough rules, and some really, really good stuff, and hopefully a lot more lore. Then issue 11, we get that Primaris Librarian, which is a really cool model, and I really like it, which has the Phobos armor, which is really cool. And we also get a medium dry brush as well, which is very, very handy and good to get painting with. And yeah, so happy times. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very, very, very much for watching, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye bye now.